Howdy
Hey,
doodly.
what's up,
What's up,
everybody?
everybody? We jinx.
Give me a Coke. Uh,
Yeah.
I want some sauce. Welcome, everybody. This is a lovely Friday evening. We're glad to have you back with us here. I am Mac, and this is Alamo over
Yes,
here, and we are
indeed.
the Battle Bros podcast. And this is episode 029 of the Battle Bros podcast. We're going to have a discussion about some stuff which primarily deals with veterans, but it can kind of apply to anybody. So if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back.
Hello
So
again.
let's get to it. So, yeah, how you been, bro?
I've been all right, man. I have had an interesting-ish week. Hasn't exactly
Oh,
been the worst, hadn't exactly been the greatest, but tes what it tes.
how
I
was it? It was
actually
just eh.
I actually watched our holiday episode just for shits and giggles today, and I caught the part where I got to the part where essentially I made fun of your sneeze because you sounded like Mario saying "Ahoo!" and yeah, God, it still kills me.
It's all good. Or
Oh
better
man,
yet, yeah, the holiday one where we started talking about stories and your buddy Word and stuff.
yeah.
It's just giggled me. So yeah, it's been a week, man. I gotta say I'm getting used to the being back in Florida, for this good solid second week now. So I've been back as long as I was gone. So it's good, man. I feel good.
Yetter.
So but yeah, let's hit the ground running. So if you tuned in last week, we had episode 028, and that was an episode where we discussed the topic of burnout and how
Yep.
that is good, bad, other, how we can combat that, and how just kind of also some kind of current event type stuff because that applies primarily to another group that's just is not, if not as big as veterans and slightly larger, is the nursing field. A lot of
Yeah.
nurses going through um, a lot of nurses going through burnout just physically, mentally, because of everything that's happened in the last 2 years. It's a big deal. So we
Yeah.
get it, we understand it, we're here for you. Any nurse wants a hug, just come find me. I got hugs to give all day long. So yeah, it's all good. I will.
You
You
know,
know,
the funny thing,
when
I
in
remember us
when in
having that
doubt, hug
conversation.
it out, man.
Yeah. I I remember when we were having that conversation, man. We were, the subject of the nurses and stuff like that, came up, and like I remember thinking, like, man, like we really do have to think, we really do have to talk about that because I have friends that are nurses, you have friends that are nurses,
Oh God,
or just
yes.
friends in general that are in the medical field, and
You have
they
family
got
members too that are in
hit
the nursing
hard,
field.
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
they got hit hard over the last 2 years, bro, and it was not a fun thing for a lot of
I
these folks
mean,
that are out there, man.
it just goes to show you, like the mentality of service, the mindset. There's a little sneak peek. The mindset of servitude, and just service to others is it's kind of a big deal. I mean, you're talking about first responders, fire, cops, police, LEO, EMS, nurses, all that jazz. I mean, like it's a big deal. Like there's a lot to be said for it. So, in case you
Absolutely.
weren't paying attention to that subtle hint that I just dropped, this week's episode 029, we're talking about mindset, and it never ceases to amaze me how I would imagine there's a little bit of a similarity between folks that do podcasts or radio shows or talk shows or something like this, even pastors, preachers, people that have to write a sermon every week for a religious service or church or whatnot, like where that motivation, that topic, kind of the subject matter comes up, and you're just like, yeah, because like we were, just figuring out what we were going to talk about this week, and just kind of had some things happen earlier in the week. It's like, okay, yeah, absolutely. So we're going to talk about mindset and why that, number one, why that's important, why that is, kind of crucial to what you do, and good examples of good and bad, positive
Yeah.
mindset, negative mindset, how that applies. So this is one of those episodes where, yes, it does apply to the veteran community, but it can also apply to anybody. So,
Oh yeah.
so yeah. So what's the definition of mindset? I don't know. Oh, look, I happen to have notes right here. Mindset is the established set of attitudes held by someone. Okay. And that kind of goes to, your mental thought processes or your mental, personality when you're at a job in a certain situation, so on and so forth. Okay. So,
Yarn.
why is this important? Mindset can make or break a situation. You can go into something and have a very positive mindset, and it could just turn into a total shit show. And you're like, okay, it wasn't so bad. It's kind of like finding the positives, finding that silver lining in every dark cloud. Or you
Yeah.
can have a very negative mindset. And, that's just it's going to suck. It's going to be terrible. I mean, what do you want to offer on that there, bud?
No, I mean mindset is everything, bro. You know, a positive mindset can, push you in the direction of, either climbing out of a hole, or, a negative mindset can push you deeper into the hole, and, you might not ever come out of it. Mindset is in many ways a killer of, future dreams, or, however you want to call it, in the sense that if you don't have the right one, you may not come out of it. You know what I mean? I personally have experienced the negative mindset side of a lot of, well, let's be honest, a lot of situations. Um, and I
I'm
damn
sorry, I
near
keep
gave
messing with my camera here, dude. I'm just trying to get this right. It just moved on me. Damn it. We're in the middle of a conversation here. There we
and
go. Oh,
honestly,
perfect.
like I almost didn't come out of it
Yeah.
a few times. Um, and it's not necessarily something I'm proud of, but with managing, through, just talking it out, and having my family have my back pretty much whenever, including my friends, which I also consider family.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm the same
it's
way. I
it's
consider like friends like that extended fringe family type stuff.
yeah, it makes a huge difference, man. But yeah, definitely, my mindset can definitely make or break anybody, honestly.
Yeah. So, what would be some examples of, for yourself being in the military where mindset was a good thing and mindset was like something that just kind of like wore you down, beat you down, you just kind of like kicked your ass a little bit?
I would say first of all, just training, and like pretty much just any kind of training, and just honestly combat. Having that mindset where, you know we're here to do a job, and that's what we're going to do, and I'm going to make the best of it, the best I can, because I got my brothers there with me. I think that was probably the biggest thing for me. And then, of course, I mean, there was the mindset of, I think anybody goes through this, of the shit sucks. you know, combat is not a walk in the park. Combat is not, it is not, you know, fun. I would say 80% of the time. Um, you have some really good, good stuff and fun times that you do go through while you're there. But, you know, 80% of the time it's a fucking shit show. You're dealing with, deaths of people in your company, your platoon, your battalion,
Yeah.
guys getting injured and not coming back, and you're dealing with a lot of different things. So keeping your head in the game, and just making sure you stay with everything, and in not just for you, like keeping your head right, uh, doesn't just mean keeping yourself in check. It means keeping everybody else, from freaking going nuts, and it could, again, it could make or break the situation. I mean, I'm kind of repeating myself on that, but
Right.
I mean, there's
Okay.
really no other way of really saying it. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's just the God's honest truth.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, for me, mindset. Um, when I was younger, so I would say like I always kind of fall back on basic training and like the mindset there and the mentality and just kind of like that whole that whole tapestry experience of like the whole thing.
Cornucopia.
That's yeah. I was searching for a word there. I'm sorry. I try to sound intelligent, and I really am. My bad, folks. I'll just dumb it down. Keep it legit like it is.
No.
Mindset for me, it was hard because when I was in basic, I was very shy. I was very reserved. I was introverted, and you got a lot of guys that were. For somebody that wasn't like that, it's kind of like being around a bunch of collegiate or pro athletes, like just very jocular, type A plus, type A plus plus personalities, that kind of thing. And I'm just like, oh, the kid over here in the corner, trying to make his way through base training, just keeping his head above water. So there was that. Later on, mindset was good. Like once I got to the point of actually like, especially after coming back from my deployment, mindset was a lot different because I know
Yeah.
I'd gone down range. I'd done, what I trained to do for the most part. I'm trying to think how I want to say that. So like I had a lot more, the mindset that I was a lot more confident in my abilities, especially for like all the younger guys coming in, that were coming to the unit after me. It's like, okay, so you kind of move into that role of being somebody who's, I hate to use the term been there, done that, got the t-shirt, but it's like kind of fits. But so that kind of helped, the attaboy, the pat on the back, all that stuff. That was kind of crucial to all that kind of jazz. I mean, big welcome home ceremony. We had Governor Bush come out. Governor W's brother Jeb. He was governor.
Jebby Jebs.
Yeah, Jebby Jeb. He was governor at the time, so we had this big welcome home ceremony at Busch Gardens. Big open area. The whole brigade was there. I came out, pretty much shook everybody's hand. The adjutant general was there. The 2-star in charge of the state. So yeah, it was a big deal, mindset wise, and it just kind of helped you fill into and feel like you were part of something bigger. You weren't just a guy that was still kind of new and green. Like you actually been there and had that experience to kind of go forward. Crappy mindset was, I remember one time my squad had some, shall we say, remedial training, and we pretty much had to carry. We were in Afghanistan. We had to carry a bunch of like sandbags from one place to the next. So we were in PTs and boots and all that kind of crap, and then we had to put a sandbag in our ruck and then carry it from one part of the compound to the other. And I remember my mindset was just total garbage. Like I was pretty upset because the whole squad, it was like the Navy calls it a one crew, one screw, like one guy messed up for everybody kind of thing. If I remember correctly, it was so long ago. But like the whole squad, we just got like remedial, PT just to get, to play fuck games. So I just remember my mindset was just terrible. Like I was just like, I don't want to do this. I hate this. Like this is not why I came to Afghanistan. And like it wasn't that bad, but it felt like it was longer because I was just miserable and I was pissed. And I'm just like, oh my god, why am I here? Kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, and the thing, kind of to pull back and go to it's more of a general take. Like you hear that expression, or at least back in our day, you had that expression of false.
Back in my day,
pretty much. You hear that expression of false motivation is better than no motivation at all. It's like that mindset. I always was like, no, that's kind of dangerous. false motivation. Like if you're miserable, tell me so I can namaste the fuck
The
over
fuck
there
over
or the
there.
fuck over there. You know, don't. And it's those guys that are always the loudest. They're like, huh, whenever NCOs are around, and then as soon as you turn around, they're just running their mouth, running their suck hole, and it's just like, dude, come on, just shut up.
Yeah.
You know? And I always found one of the other things that I found interesting too. Being from a National Guard unit, there were a lot of guys where, so it was a very interesting situation because 1/3 of my company were prior service Marines. They had served in the Marine Corps in one facet of an or another, and then came over to the Army, whether they were enlisted. My old platoon leader, he was a corporal in a heavy weapons company, and then he came over and became a lieutenant, and was just a bang up guy. And a lot of these guys brought some of the mindset of the Marine Corps over, and some of the traditions and kind of the certain ways of doing things. It's like, okay, I can understand that, which was just always interesting. You have Army guys say "hua," and you have guys that are like "hiya."
Hiya.
What the hell did you just say? So, you just that's ingrained into you. That mindset is just like it's there. So it's like, there's no
Yeah.
sense trying to fight that shit. So,
Yeah.
what about civilian life, dude? Positive versus negative mindset in the civilian sector, like personal life, work life.
I mean, honestly, from what I've found, I mean, we've discussed it on the show before. I don't like talking about it, but I had a really, really shitty mindset for a long time. Like, and it all stemmed from, just not being where I want to be.
Sure.
I still to this day, I'm still not where I want to be, but having this podcast and doing what we're doing right now, it kind of gives me a little bit more of a purpose in the whole thing of it all. Not and for that specific reason, I don't
I
feel
wanna
like
I want to apologize to everybody at home watching. If you're watching the replay of this, my background is not breathing. I have something hanging on the wall, and there's a window open behind it, so it's kind of like flexing with the wind and stuff. I'm just like, this wall's gonna eat me. Lovely.
there's a poltergeist behind him.
Don't say that.
So, no, but yeah, no, I just because of because I wasn't where I wanted to be, and because I struggled so long with the idea that I didn't really know what I wanted to do. It was hard, man. I very much had a roller coaster of ups and downs in my mindset. Where I'd be up for a little bit, thinking like, okay, things aren't that bad, it'll get better, to back down, and I'd be down for like months at a time. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That was kind of like the trend for me.
Yeah.
And again, it fucking sucks, bro. It's not fun. It doesn't help. My highest times were when I had those periods of months where I was in a constant up, and my mindset was, I know I'm not where I want to be right now, but it's not where I'm going to be for the rest of my life. So, and sometimes you gotta stick with that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
By the way, I found some research. I did a little bit of search on this subject that we got here. Yeah. I found out that, for a lot of, it seems like it's a very common theme with a lot of like psychology websites and shit like that. Like there are two mindsets. One is called the fixed mindset, and then the other is called the growth mindset. In the fixed mindset, Either I'm good at it, or I'm not. In the growth mindset, I can learn to do anything I want. In the fixed mindset, that's just who I am. I can't change it. In the growth mindset, I'm a constantly evolving work in progress. And then, it goes on to, like, if you have a if you have to, if you have to work hard, you don't have the ability. Which, how many times has anybody else have any of us felt like that?
Yeah.
I felt like that before plenty of times. And but the growth set mindset of that side of that was, the more you challenge yourself, the smarter you become.
Oh yeah.
And that's another thing that continues to pop up, and this is why it matters so much. Because, especially in the veteran community, you notice one thing, especially in the veteran community: if we're not challenging ourselves, we're not making a difference to ourselves, and we don't feel like we're making a difference to the people around us.
We're just like, what's the point? What am I here for?
Yeah, we just feel, I mean, for lack of better terms, freaking useless.
I'm standing gate guard on a porta-crapper and barbed wire fence.
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
And that's the big thing about it, man. And it makes a lot of sense to think, to think there are those two kind of parallels. Obviously there's the fixed and then the growth. You know what I mean? If you're stuck in this mindset of, oh my God, what am I doing? Oh man, if I'm busting my ass, it's not fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to have a shitty fucking time. You're going to have a really shitty time. But then
it's like those folks that come to work and they're just like, it's like working in retail. Like, we were kind of fortunate because we had a pretty cool job in retail. Like, we worked in firearms retail.
Yeah.
You got to work with customers. You got to work with people that you like to be around. It was awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
And it's like, well, how are you going to come to work working with guns and talking to people about guns? Hold on. Excuse me. Oh, one more. No, Mario.
At least it
shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Yeah. Shut up. I knew you were going to say that, you klutz. No, but like you come to work and it's like you get to work around guns all day. And if you're a gun person, it's just like, yeah. It's like somebody that's loves animals, like working as a vet tech or working at a zoo. It's like, you do something you really like and you're passionate about. Like, it's fun. And how are you going to come to work and like have a bad day?
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like, it would be kind of like somebody who works in a certain field. It's like somebody that works in a field that doesn't like the field, but they're just like, it was a job.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize how ridiculous that sounds? Like, I'm sure that happens. I'm not going to find any one example in particular, but like, yeah, it's like, you have people that come to work, and there's guys that we saw that came to work. They were just like, It's like, and you had other guys that came to work that had just went on an all-night bender. I remember this story clearly. I forget who it was. Went into work, came into work, clocked in, went in the bathroom, stuck their finger down their throat, ralphed up the alcohol, and next thing you know, they're out there pushing a dust mop and a wet mop, and it's just like, you're a hardcore SOB. I want to be around you. I want to be your friend.
Sadly, I've done that before.
To quote somebody that we love and admire. To quote somebody we love.
I'm ready to party again.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah,
that's
and it's
what
like,
you do, bro.
It's like you have those folks, and especially in the military, man. You have those folks that it's just like they hate that. I was like, why did you join? Oh, it was a job.
Yeah.
It's like,
I just wanted to get free college. Shut your fucking mouth.
You're a special kind of stupid, aren't
Yeah.
you? Yeah, I mean, but hey.
Yeah, you had to have joined for more than that, man.
Yeah.
Especially because, man, that freaking stuff that infuriates me when I hear people say shit like that. Because like my thing was, it's a fucking calling, man. You're joining the military because
it's a lifestyle.
Be, yeah, because you believe in doing something higher than yourself. There, like
Greater than yourself.
getting into any kind of profession where you're serving others in any capacity, whether that's the military, law enforcement, firefighters, nursing,
Public service.
just public service in general. You're joining those services because you believe that serving your community, serving your country, serving the people in the country you love the most, that it's one of the most important things you can do. And when you have people that get into these professions, you know, they're already coming into the, and this is a thing about, the, I guess you would say, the fixed mindset. They're going into it already thinking to themselves, oh, I'm doing this because, I want to, I just, I'm trying to get a paycheck out of it. I did it because, I didn't really want to, I didn't really want
Chasing
to
that
do anything
money.
else. And, this seemed like it was fairly easy, but now it's like a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And like, well, what the fuck did you do?
And it's funny.
I,
Like another great example is I met a lady, a young lady at heart. She's a little bit older than myself, and that's not a knock
yeah,
on anybody, but she's a nurse. And I asked her, and I was like, "How long you been a nurse?" She goes, "I'm coming up on 40 years." I'm like, "Bless your heart, woman. Seriously." I said, "That is amazing." So she's been in so long that you could actually go and be a nurse with just an associate's degree. Now you have to get your bachelor's, and then most
yeah,
people go on and they get their bachelor, their BSN, their Bachelor of Science in Nursing, all that stuff.
yeah.
Um,
And then they get
but
their
like,
NPs too.
yeah, all the other stuff, nurse practitioner, all that kind of junk,
Yeah.
and not junk, but you know what I mean. I don't
Yeah.
disrespect to the nurses out there. But it just goes to show you, like that
Uh-oh.
mindset
I
of
think you
just
cut
going.
out.
No, I didn't cut up. Hold up.
Sorry, folks.
I don't
Technical
know what's.
difficulties.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. My phone screen cut off. That's what it was. It was just like. So no, what I was saying though is like that kind of. I mean, 40 years to be doing that calling, and like you're not done yet. And she had,
Yeah.
she's worked at a certain local hospital here in Tampa for 20 years and stuff. And I and she came to work. She's like, oh, she's telling me, she's like, yeah, I go to work. And I'm just like, oh, hey, I just clocked in, but I want to help you with this, that, and the other. It's like, it's cool,
Yeah.
and that's awesome. So civilian side of things, my biggest exposure and experience personally with mindset was when I was driving for Uber. And
Ooh.
you know,
That's a challenge in itself.
I mean, yeah, because if you think about it,
Keeping
you're
people satisfied on the drive.
keep people satisfied, but you're also like you're also acting kind of like a guidance counselor, a life counselor, a life coach, and you're just like,
Yeah.
I really shouldn't be your life coach. I'm kind of messed up myself.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but
Because you
and it's
had
like
those ones that they just want to, oh, I'm so. And it's like, oh, yeah. Well, yeah, just
so I
is
have,
what
I
it
have a
is,
couple of great examples. Like there's just all these things that happen. Like I didn't have the nicest car. Like I wasn't able to do Uber Black because I didn't drive any. And for those of you that don't know, like, depending on what kind of
You
car
didn't
you
drive
had different
anything high
levels.
toned and fancy, as Captain Jack would say.
Oh boy, you went and did it. I was hoping to stay away from that whole non-travesty of nonsense, but thanks, brought it to the show. Anyway, but
Shit, I
like
noticed there was feces on my pillow.
okay, so since you brought that up, I gotta say that I saw a funny ass meme
Oh
earlier this
dear
week,
God!
and it said Miss Heard's lawyers call their final witness, and then it had a picture of it's Mr. Hanky the Christmas Pooh from South Park, and I was like, somebody's throwing. It's like this motherfucker's spitting over here, like shit. Okay,
God.
let's reel it. Let's reel it in and get back on track, dude.
Okay. Yes.
Anyway, this is so good if you can watch this because you can see all the dumb stuff that we do on screen. But yeah, so like I said, if when you call an Uber, you can do an Uber, you can do Uber XL for like a larger vehicle to get a larger party, which is what you're supposed to do. But people a lot of times in the area that I drove in were lazy. Look, we sit on laps, bro. No,
No.
Absolutely not. No, I'm not going to take it because you're a dumb college ass. No thanks.
Yeah.
But you also had like Uber Black or Uber Select or something like that, where like if you wanted somebody with a nicer car, like a Caddy or like a nice Chevy Suburban, that kind of stuff. I had a very basic car. I had a hatchback, so like I was getting that standard type stuff. But
Yar.
what made it good was the fact that like I would have fun with that. And this was, at this time in my life, I had a lot going on personally. Um, for those of you that know me, if you don't, then hey, if you ever meet me, ask about it. I'll tell you. I don't want to, spread the business around here because it's just out
Yar.
of respect to all parties involved. But it's like I didn't have the nicest car, but that job showed me like you can do a lot if you just have a good personality. Like you
Yeah.
could like go and like if
Absolutely.
you could just go and make somebody else's day and make them laugh and have fun, forget about what the crap's going on in their life for a few minutes. Like, yeah, it's like you kind of get motivated by the whole like, oh, 5 stars, all right, all that kind of stuff. So like
Yeah.
what I would do is, and it was so funny because
Especially
like
because that meant
I
more
would wear
bonuses
something.
for you along the way too, because they would give you more bonus. They will give you more bonus trips.
Yeah, absolutely.
They give you
So,
even more now.
oh, I've had a couple of like really awesome things happen, like where I got tipped pretty good. I'm just like, yeah, that's awesome. But like, so it was funny because I would just wear like some sneakers, jeans, but then I would wear like a nice dress shirt, roll the sleeves up so I was comfortable, put on a tie. And they're like, "Oh, you coming off your other job?" I'm like, "No," I said, "I'm actually dressing up to come to this job. You guys are nice enough to use Uber, and I'm going to take you, so I can at least pay my respects to you as my customer by showing the part of like giving you that good customer service experience, all that kind of stuff, and just letting you have a good time, and just that little bit of mindset of I'm going to make this enjoyable for somebody else. Like that stuck with me for a long time. That whole customer service mindset, but
Yeah.
yeah, so there's that. I mean, there's another event. When I did Uber, there's one of the nights during the Super Bowl a few years ago. I had a drunken college kid attack me in my car, punch me in the face, and yeah, and I could have stopped doing Uber right there. I'm like, that's one small thing that's happened out of hundreds, if not 1,000+ fares at that point. So
Yeah.
it's like 0.001% of the crap that happens. So it's like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll keep going. But also, I mean, just there's so many like you get bad fares, you get all that good stuff. But like just that little bit of putting the effort into it and having that mindset of I'm going to do what I can to make this nice for somebody, make them have a good night. That was fantastic. It was awesome. I also, the negative mindset of, coming into a job where it's like you've had just a lot of things you keep getting shit on and keep just having bad stuff happen and, you this, that, the other. It's like
Yeah.
it can wear you down, it can affect you, and eventually it'll cause you maybe to lose your job and stuff. And, you know, happened to me before. So why is that important? Because this is kind of what we were going at here. So it's important because your mindset. So there's a great quote. It's not a quote. Let me retract that and go forward. It's a poem. I think it's called Attitude by Charles. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. Make sure I can see if I can find this. Yeah, here we go. So this is something that like I was shown at a very young age, and I think it's something that my grandfather showed to me. Right. So it says, "The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude, to me, is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than
Yeah.
education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think, say, or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, a home. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play the one string we have, and that is our attitude. Now, this is the last line of this like poem, paragraph, whatever you want to call it. And this is what's always stuck with me. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so
Yeah.
it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes. And I like, dude, I remember my grandfather showing me that, and it's always been there. But like the last line of it, I think was like underlined or highlighted, and it's just like, yeah, okay, so what? You have a car wreck. You're in an accident. Okay, a car's a materialistic thing. You can get it replaced. You can get it fixed. You can get it repaired. Are you okay? Are you able to still walk and function? Okay. Yeah, it might suck. You might be in a wheelchair. You might have a colostomy bag or something stuck to you where you have to carry that around with you all day. Are you alive? Yeah. I mean, you gotta that positive attitude is just not only is it important, it's infectious because you get people around you that have a positive attitude, and it just freaking it grows like wildfire, man. And it's just so important and so amazing, and it's
Yeah.
just like, dude, it's like watching all the guys. And I'm not plugging these guys because I just happen to be out in that part of the country, but like the guys you see on the videos for Black Rifle Coffee, like you just see all those guys getting together and they're just doing goofy fun shit and having a blast and loving life because of the fact that, you know, a lot of them have the mindset like a good friend of mine that we're going to hopefully interview soon, Kyle. He used to work with me at a retail establishment. And he went and he is now working. So he was in retail, kind of was trying to find his way and all that stuff. Ended up going to nursing school, and now he is a trauma nurse. But he's also on a SWAT team as a SWAT medic. So like you're actually a guy going in there because the SWAT guys kicking ass and stuff. But you're also responsible for anybody getting hurt, your teammates, anybody you might take down or be looking for in a raid, all that jazz. And he's like, you know,
Yeah.
the mind, he has an MIA bracelet or a KIA bracelet, and it's got 11 names on it of guys that went down on a deployment. He's like, you know, the mindset, and a lot of the guys, especially in special, particularly in special ops, are like, these guys didn't make it, so I'm have the mindset that I'm going to go live the fullest, best life that I can because their sacrifice allows me to do so. And it's like, that's like, dude, that's deep. It's like,
Yeah.
and it's important stuff, you know.
Absolutely, man. So, like, what are we?
What's up with your triceps, dude? Like you're like, "Bruh." It's like you got a freaking like goiter or something on the side of your arm.
It's called,
Mine looks so.
It's called being a fucking swole bitch. No, but
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
arms are
Okay,
better
so
than swole. No, but
there's
so
a guy. There's a guy on the. He's got me on to
Robert Frank.
Robert Frank.
Robert
If you
Frank,
haven't
yeah.
seen his stuff, he talks about why it's important to be fucking swole. And I mean, he looks like just this crazy, like homeless looking dude. He's got this crazy big beard, and he's just, I mean, he's built like a solid brick shit house, like just solid. Like if I met the guy, I would just be like, I would just get a little nervous. He's probably, I don't know. He's probably, hopefully, he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
My mindset of here we go mindset. My mindset of him is like, he does arms because if he wants to freaking crush me into a can like this big, he can do that because he's fucking swole, you know.
Yeah, pretty
But
much.
watch the videos; you'll get a good chuckle out of them because they're just ridiculous. And he even breaks down his videos and just starts laughing. It's like he doesn't take himself too seriously, which is amazing. No. So, but that's good stuff because you're fucking swole.
So
I don't do it justice. Yeah, and he's thinking about it.
Whoa. So, what are we trying to get at here? Honestly, there's a few things that we can do. Again, I did a little bit of research. I can be semi-smart sometimes. So, so what can we do?
How was I the serious one there? I'm just like, keep going. You're doing fine, and then you're just like,
So, what can we do to help fix our mindset when we start kind of feeling low? What are things that we can look at, things that we can try and change in ourselves? Well, in an article I found, it says in one step you can make is focus on the journey. An important factor when building a growth mindset is seeing the value in your journey. When you're fixated on the end result, you miss out on all the things you could be learning along the way. Um, and honest to God, like that, I'm that actually makes a lot of sense. Um, because there's a lot of
Sure.
negativity that we all focus on a daily basis. And when we focus on that negativity, it takes away from the positive that we see in the day.
Even if you don't focus on it, even if it's just in your freaking personal bubble or in your realm of existence, it's like
Yeah.
there's ways you can get rid of that negativity. I stopped watching the news.
Yeah.
Don't care. I mean, I'll get my news sources from I'll get my news from various sources just so that
Yeah.
I can kind of get a gist of what's going on. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
not
of
anything.
course.
I'm not trying to get political on that, but I'm just like not watching the news. Just like kind of cuts a lot of that negativity out there and gives me kind of
Yeah.
overall mindset because all it is just negative crap. You're just like,
Yeah.
ugh. And then they give you that glimmer of hope at the very end, like one positive, happy-go-lucky story. Yeah, people are good.
The fireman saved a cat in a tree.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Listen,
So,
not knocking firemen. I got plenty of friends who are
no.
firemen. I love you guys. Please come save me if my shit's on fire. So
Yes.
that'd be
So,
great.
what's the next thing that we could do? Well, the next
Yeah.
thing we could do is incorporate the word yet. If you're struggling with a task, remind yourself that you just haven't mastered it yet. Integrating this word into your vocabulary signals that despite any struggles, you can overcome anything. Um,
Now
and you know,
let's just clarify. That's the word yet, not yet.
no,
Different
not
scene.
yet,
Not
yet,
yet.
yeah,
Yet.
not yet, yet.
The American yet, not
The
yet.
American yet, yeah. Um, also, yeah, makes a hell of a lot of sense.
Yeah.
When you, because not to try and sound futurist, but when you well, like when you're looking ahead of yourself and you're trying to place, you know, like you're not necessarily placing a timestamp on it, but you're giving yourself that room to say, like, okay, well, for example, with us, our podcast is not big yet, but we're still
Great
growing.
example. Yeah.
We're still
We know
growing.
that is, yeah, well, that's
Um,
something that we had to, we've had plenty of conversations off the air where we're like, dude, like we need to make this huge. And I'm just like,
yeah,
let's keep on the grind. Let's keep the nose to
yeah,
the grindstone. Let's keep it humble because
absolutely.
I don't want to end up like some of these, large companies, whether it's corporations, churches out there that are just too big and they're just like, whoa,
Yeah,
what's going on here? So, and
and
that's not a not. I'm just giving like literally
not
pulling
just
examples out of the air. So,
yeah, not just too big for the britches.
well, yeah, like you have organizations that are so big, the left hand don't know what the right hand's doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, what else you got?
So the next one is pay attention to the words, or excuse me, pay attention to your words and thoughts. Replace negative thoughts with more positive ones to build a growth mindset. So basically, the power of the words that you use on yourself, and I mean, honestly, we could be guilty of it too. I mean, shit, as veterans, we're self-deprecation is
A
it's
way of life.
it's a way of life. So I mean, we say like, I'm such a damn it, I'm such a dumb fuck. Like it it is the way it is. But instead
Yeah.
of saying like, damn it, I'm such a dumb fuck, just be like, fuck, I didn't get that
Good
time.
job, genius. And then you just get off it, make your
Yeah,
point that you're kind of an idiot sometimes,
yeah,
go back to what you're doing, succeed, move on.
exactly. And I'm not a big proponent of like words or violence, like how some of these people are nowadays. But the words do have power. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
I don't particularly give words as much power as some people do, but words do have power. And the words specifically that we use on ourselves can tell us a lot about can tell us a lot about ourselves in terms of why we're thinking the way we're thinking, why things are going for us the way they're going. If
Absolutely.
if we're constantly saying something like, "Yep, it's just another freaking another step of the way. It's just one more step in the right direction. Blah blah blah." Well, guess what? The more we keep saying that to ourselves, the more we keep building upon that, the bigger things will get for us. But if we, for example, start going like, "Man, this fucking sucks. I mean, I'm never gonna fucking get out of here," you know, and then it turns into, well, I'm never gonna get out of here, from to like, I'm freaking stuck. Freaking this sucks, anus. I'm freaking worthless. You know,
Okay, dude. We hit the topics there. Let's move
I'm
on.
just
Like,
saying. I'm just saying. But that's I'm saying. Like
no, I get you. I get you. I'm
it's
just giving you a hard time.
oh no, I
Yeah,
know.
motion
So
in the ocean.
yeah, that's the thing, man. You have to focus on being more positive with yourself. And as crazy as that sounds to, I mean, anybody that's listening or watching, you know, I know it seems kind of weird to think of like your self-talk being something like, like, oh, I don't need to talk to myself, like, whatever. But I mean, in reality, whether we say it out loud, we're doing it to ourselves regardless. You don't have to say it out loud to have self-talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I just find if I talk to myself out loud, most people are just like, "That guy's weird. Leave him alone."
yeah.
So it's like it kind of works out. So
So,
they don't have a mask mandate in most places now in Florida.
yep.
I still wear one just so people think I'm like a diseased monkey and they leave me alone. Anyway,
So next on there, and this is the final one for this article specifically that I found. I actually found a couple. I might actually try and cover one more thing after this too. Take on challenges, man.
yeah.
And honestly, like, what do we say like all the time, like when it comes to this kind of stuff? You know what I mean? To keep ourselves occupied, fucking
So
challenge yourself.
let
Make
me jump in on this because
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I had something this week that kind of happened. So like I took my daughter to the library, and I'm kind of and parents, man, you guys can understand this. Like you want the best for your kids, right? So you want them to challenge themselves. You want them hopefully to challenge themselves, but you also just want to have them strive and succeed. So my daughter just turned 8, and she's at that point now where I'm hopefully like I'm like trying to transition her from reading like these. She'll go to the library and like I've said before, like she'll just get a bunch of books and take them home, like 20 or so at a time. But she'll get like these like kind of easier reading, eating easier. Sorry, she'll get these easier books
Mush
that are
mouth.
yeah, straight up, dude. She'll get these easier books, but they have pictures in them, and like there might be 30, 40 pages, but you can read it inside of 10 minutes. Like
Yeah.
driving home from the library, she's like, Daddy, I read 2 books. I'm like, well, yeah, because like it's like reading a brochure. So I'm trying to, and I told her too, I was like, I want you to try to challenge yourself. We had her read a book last time, my mom and I. She read a book where it was a chaptered book. So it's probably like maybe 80, 100 pages, something she can't sit down and read in 5-10 minutes. She reads a chapter a day or so because a lot of times in her homework, it says read 20 minutes a day. It's like, all right, sometimes she'll do a hell of a lot more than that. Long story short, she's like, Daddy, I don't like these because I don't have pictures. I'm like, well, you got to use your imagination. So a lot of time they'll give you details of what's going on and all that stuff. She goes, well, I can't do that because when I use my imagination, I just see colors in my head. And I'm like, colors in close your eyes. Okay. I totally know what that means. Yeah. Absolutely. Like when you close your eyes and you're just looking around, you see all the colors and the wiggly shapes. And I'm like, all right. Totally my kid. Yeah. I got you. But I said, sweetie, because she's made it very clear that she's kind of decided she wants to do something with animals. She wants you to be a vet tech. She wants to be a veterinarian. hey, go for it. I said, sweetie, you're going to have to use your imagination because a lot of the books that you're going to start reading as you get up in school, she's in second grade right now. She'll be in third grade. She's in the second half of elementary school now. I was like, you're going to start reading harder and harder books, You're going to get to
Mhm.
the point where you're constantly having to improve and check yourself and, keep ascending up that pyramid of experience and knowledge and all that stuff. You know, I was like, you're going to have to use your imagination because, they don't have pictures in there. And I said, also, how are you supposed to figure out, like, if you're a veterinarian and you got to do surgery on an animal, you can't see everything. You got to wiggle around and use your imagination. You might have to stick your finger inside of a wound to kind of figure out where a bone is fragmented or that kind of stuff. I'm like, and on top of that, she's pretty imaginative. I'm like, sweetie, you got this. And I think it might be just the fact of, you know, she's kind of wanting to stay where she's at so she feels a little bit of comfort and whatnot. But I'm just like,
Yeah.
keep pushing yourself. I said, sweetie, I just want you to be better than me. I said, I was a terrible student. I'm lucky I got out of high school. And I like senior year, man, my two final exams, I didn't have to take, you had to have a C or better, which is an 80.
Yeah.
You had to have I forget what it was. I think it was like an 80, I think.
So I think it was like a 75. I think.
Oh, it's lowered. But
Oh,
it
it
was
has. Yeah.
oh yeah, the scale gets down. They kind of just let it slide more. Like it used to be, A was 94 to 100. Now it's like 90 to 100. I'm just like, whatever, dude. We're establishing that mindset of mediocrity. So,
Mm.
but I didn't have to take my final two exams because like I had to have an 80. I had an 80.24 and an 80.36, and I was just like, I was, dude, I had senioritis my sophomore year of high school, man. It was terrible. I was a
Yeah.
terrible student. So, and that's kind of one of the big things too. I was just trying to get her in that mindset of success, of just wanting to actually go out and, you know, freaking like we went out today and, she wanted to learn something. So I got it. I ordered some stuff. By the way, I got my compass in and I got my other stuff for, for next weekend.
Yeah.
So I went out there and we're sitting out there and I'm like, I have a military style unstatic compass. And she's like, how does this work, Daddy? I'm like, all right, sit down. I'll show you. And she just wants to look at it and play with it. I'm like, do you want to learn or do you want to play with it? She's like, I want to learn, Daddy. I'm like, all right, that's what I want to hear. So we sat out there, and that's why I was late getting on here with you today. I was just like, oh shit, it's 8 o'clock. We gotta get inside. So plus I had a bunch of stuff come in the mail today. I'm like, it's like Christmas, yeah. I love eBay. It's awesome. So, but yeah, mindset's crucial, man. I mean, it's
Hell yeah.
and especially as parents, like passing that stuff on to your kids, whether it's in your adult life, whether it's your military life, civilian life, your parent life, mindset is a big deal. And that's
hell yeah.
I've had to tone down because like you see these kids, like these funny videos of like kids that like, parents have the mindset of, and I'm not saying anything bad about parents, but like just people being a little bit loose and fast with how they act, what they say, and then your kids are doing it, and you're like, "Where the hell did you get that from?" It's like, duh. So like, I've had to stop. Like, I might be a little upset in traffic every once in a while. Traffic made me cuss a little bit, so like, I just had to start a resort to calling everybody chucklehead. So I'm not. I have the mindset of like, I don't want my daughter to know where this is going. And if I do say something, she just looks at it and she goes, "I'm not going to repeat that, Daddy." I'm like, appreciate that. That's good. So yeah. Well, I think I'm about talked out on this one, man. You got anything else you want to add, dude?
Yeah, just this one last thing. It says, I found, like I said, it was another article I found, and it says work on managing your stress. And this is, all part of, balancing out your mindset. It says, when circumstances out of your control add stress to your life, it often becomes more difficult to regulate your state of mind. By the way, this will be the last one, then we can close out.
Okay.
Stress and anxiety can fuel unwanted thoughts. This can provoke more worry, leading to a cycle that can rapidly become overwhelming. Start Start taking back control by exploring keys of stress in your life and seeking potential ways to remove or reduce those triggers. Most people can completely remove stress triggers. Stress often comes from outside sources. You can't always control what happens to you. That's where self-care comes in.
I
Setting
just
aside
quoted that
time.
poem that said that exact thing. Just
Yep.
by the way, sorry, I don't mean to be talking in my
No,
NPR
no, you're
voice.
good. You're good. You're good. Setting aside time to nurture your mind and body can promote improved well being overall. It also makes it easier to bounce back from life's difficulties with a more hopeful outlook. And it says self care can involve getting quality sleep, eating nourishing food, social connection. What are we doing here? Asking for help when needed,
Connection.
and
Oh, dude, I
making
thought you froze
time
again. I was just like, oh no, not again. Crap.
and making time for relaxation. Um, yeah,
I will say that's something that
all
just
valid points, bro.
generally speaking, like that's kind of the cool thing with like nowadays, like the mindset of being more, people have a better mindset when it comes to mental health. There's not that stigma. It's like, oh, I'm taking a mental health day.
Yeah,
It's like people 10 years ago laugh at you like, you don't want to show up to work today?
like
Okay.
what the hell are you talking about? Take a mental health day. What is that?
How about you take all the mental health days, want to come on fire your ass?
Hmm.
So, but I mean, like I said, the mindset of mental health has gotten a lot better, and that's kind of
Yeah,
a good kind of message of what we're talking about. So on that note, that's kind of a good segue. We're going to close this thing out. So,
yeah. You heard
um,
that last part talking about Segway. Seek out
yeah,
help when needed.
oh, you kind of stole my thunder, bro.
Go ahead, bruh.
So, like we do all the time when we close out a show, we're going to talk a little bit about, what's important to us. This podcast got started because we lost Alamo and I lost a good friend of ours,
Yeah,
and it was kind of the catalyst to get this show off the ground. We talked about getting together and doing something, maybe as a work project, whatever. Found out about this, and it's like this is it. This is kind of one of those aha, life changing, fork in the road moments. So like, let's do this.
yeah,
So when we were coming up with this, kind of establishing our show and building the brand, we came up with a mantra that you can follow, and it's got a lot of points that we end up. If we don't hit on at least one, it'll it's at least one every single episode, and it's called the
yeah,
Bros Code. And what it is just a way to kind of remember that stick around, stay in the fight, don't give up hope. There's people out there for you. Easy to remember. Just remember the words BROS, bros. Easy to remember. We kind of dumbed it down, being 11 bang bangs and stuff like that's our lifestyle.
Nerd, nerd, nerd.
Be tenacious. No matter what you do, man, be tenacious. Do it to the best of your ability. It has to do with mindset. It has to do with all kinds of stuff. It's important. Be tenacious. Don't just settle for mediocrities. Go out there and do it to the fullest. Don't do it to 110% because 100% is the physically only thing possible. Saw that on Simpsons one time. Sorry, nobody got that joke. My bad. But yeah, be tenacious. Go out there and be the best you can be. Be all that you can be. So to quote one of our in the army. Yep, absolutely. So be tenacious. Go out there and do the best you can. Be the best parent. Be the best teacher, best employee, husband, spouse, wife, child, whatever the case may be. R. Refuse to surrender. There's going to be times when you might get lost on your quest in life. You might get off the map. You might be like, the GPS stopped working. There might be times where you get conflicted. You might have to turn around, circle back, shoot her, back azimuth. I'm just making all these make references to land nav because I got a compass in the mail today. And I was like, ooh. So, yeah. Sometimes you're with the LT. He got lost in the woods. And you're just like, all right, sir, hold my hand, hold my pocket. We'll find our way out. Whatever happens, don't let it get you down. Stay on task, stay on mission, keep going. Okay. Obliterate your obstacles. That kind of goes hand in hand with the R. There's going to be times when you do get off, and you got to do what you can to finish the task. There's nothing that drives me nuts worse than something that doesn't get finished. Like you go and you do. It's like people that drop out like before the last semester of high school. It's like you were right there. You had 9 weeks. Like, duh.
What the hell?
What the hell's the point? no matter what those obstacles are, go over them, go around them, go under them, breach
Damn
them,
right.
blow them down. You know, do what you got to do. Obliterate your obstacles. Hit that OBJ. Hit that
Yeah,
mark. Hit
man.
that X. Obliterate the obstacles and finish the task. Complete the mission. S. This is our most important one. Seek out a friend in time of need. As we mentioned with our friend John, he
Yeah.
unfortunately took a path that's where he chose to solve a temporary problem with a permanent solution. Wow. As many times as we've done this show, it's the first time I actually went through that and said it without fucking it up. All right. Finally learning how to
Actually,
do
yeah.
this.
This is a first
It's
for
like,
you.
to solve a permanent problem. No. Yeah. Okay. My bad. But yeah, unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. A temporary
Yeah.
problem was solved with a permanent solution,
Permanent solution.
and there's no coming back from that. So,
Yeah.
that's one of the important facets of our show. Is one of the big things that we want to solve is the veteran epidemic of 22 veterans a day committing suicide.
Yeah.
It's a large number, but even one is too many, and it hurts a lot worse than it's somebody you know. So that's why we have this show, for connection, for camaraderie. Reach out and contact your old friends. Even if it's been years, feel free to call somebody up. If you don't have anybody you can call up, reach out and to the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. They're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And their phone number is 1-800-273-8255. Again, that's 1-800-273-8255. They always have somebody on standby. Reach out to them, use them. There are resources available to you as a veteran, as a human being. Use them, utilize them, take advantage of them. Okay? So everybody just has a story. Veterans have, a little bit more of probably a saltier story. A little bit more expletives and funny stuff, and you just like start a story, and it's like, is there anybody around? All right, check this out. No shit, there I was. 10th Mongolian horde staring me down. Like every good veteran story starts that way, right? So I'm going to turn it over here to Alamo. He's going to close us out with all the social platform stuff.
The social media. So, all right, everybody. So, if you guys want to go ahead and get in contact with us, and if you guys want to track us down on the social medias, biggest way you could do that, number one, Facebook. You could always go to facebook.com/BattleBros.podcast. You could catch us over there. Also, you could catch us on the Insta at BattleBros_podcast. You can also
Are we still working on Twitter?
I'm still working on that. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to link it, but we may end up having a Twitter. We might. So we'll keep you posted. You can always contact us on the Facebook,
Instagram,
and the Instagram via the Messenger service that goes along with those two services. And you can also use the WhatsApp through the Facebook to go ahead and contact us on the WhatsApp, through our Battle Bros page. You can also catch us on the other audio platforms, of which you can catch us on Spotify. Oh, wait, I didn't plug one. See, you did good. Now I messed up. Also, you can catch us over at battlebrospc@gmail.com. Now, back to the audio platforms. You can catch us on Spotify. You can catch us on Anchor. You can also catch us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcasts, now Amazon Music, Castbox, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and Stitcher as well. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. If you want to go ahead and support us, you can go ahead and support us over on the Anchor app. You can go to the anchor.fm and you could support. You can click on our page, and then you could click that little support button right down there, and you can support us with any kind of donation you would like. Donations would be great. Likes and shares and follows would be much more appreciated, if you please. So,
if you feel froggy enough to want to send us money to support the show, we will be very appreciative of that.
Oh yeah,
we're not asking for it, but hey, some people do that. They're like, I want to send you some money. I'm like, I don't know what to do with my
I don't do my
hands.
hands.
Send me money. So, but anything you folks want to do to help us out, we would be greatly humble
Absolutely.
and appreciative of it. And we just want to say thank you ahead of time.
Yes,
If you
indeed.
do, if not, if you just watch the show, you're supporting us. So we're
Yeah.
humble. Thank you. That's awesome. So
But also, go ahead and make sure that right down here, right down there where there's a nice little thumb, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the share button, also hit the subscribe, and hit that notification bell to make sure you keep up with all of our content so that you know when the hell we get on.
I don't know if you mentioned earlier, but we also have a YouTube channel where you can actually go and watch all of our. Did you mention that?
Well, technically, if they're here watching us live, they would know.
Oh shit, that's right.
Ooh.
Because I'm looking at this website that we use, and it's like it's not YouTube, and I'm just like,
YubTub.
oh, I said that out loud. Yeah. I'm sorry, that was pathetic. So, anyway, so like we always say, we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. It's kind of weird. We didn't have anybody in the chat room tonight for the comments and stuff. I was like, it's kind of a bummer, but it's, like, it's just two of us talking like we're in a phone booth. Yeah. But again, if you watch this show, great. It might not be when it's live. It might be, down the road. It could be months, days, years, weeks from now. Who knows? If you like what you see, leave a comment. Let us know. What's been very surprising about the show is the fellowship that we get from all over the place. Ireland, Canada, like some stuff over in Europe. I'm like, okay, cool. We're not like a well-known brand or anything, but I'm good with that. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah. So surprised me when I heard Italy and freaking Ireland. I was like,
excuse me.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, the biggest thing is getting our message out there. We want to support and foster the veteran community, whether it's Americans, whether it's anybody that's served. Oh, yeah, dude, that's what I was gonna tell. Dude, okay. Complete side note: I just squirreled the shit out of myself. Okay, so there is a guy. You remember how I told you about the channel Grantham? The guy Mike Grantham. Yes. He does a bunch of gun reviews. There's a guy that he does collabs with. His name is Administrative Results. That's the name of his channel, Administrative Results. I think he's still in, but he wears like a balaclava. So like he wears like the little ninja hood, and so you can only see like this much. He did, and I was watching. So you were watching the holiday episode. I was watching our second VIP panel with Greg, and how we were talking about Starship Troopers. Would you like to know more? Administrative Results did a video like that where he's like he dressed up like the dude from a mobile infantryman from Starship Troopers. I was like, dope, that's amazing. Yeah. I was like, I gotta tell Alamo about this. This is so funny. It's awesome. Yeah. So dope. Anyway, so sorry, I just squirreled the shit out of that. So I apologize. But thank you for bearing with me because I'm just like so, but anyway, we just want, like we always do, we want to say thank you for taking the time to watch or listen to this program. We appreciate everyone out there.
Yep.
Veteran or not, if you're a human being, hey, you're pretty fucking awesome in our book. We appreciate it. Share the message. Get the message out to other people. It might not be you who needs it, but the person you share it with might lead it to somebody else down the road, and they need to hear it. And that's what's important. This is not about us. It's not about us getting famous. I could give a shit. I don't want people knowing where I live, and like I don't want people. The paparazzi, that just gives me anxiety. I'm like, yeah. So I don't care about that. I care about people connecting with people and helping other people out, like being just good, upstanding, freaking human beings, and that's what it's all about. So if you watched, if you listened, thank you. You're the fucking shit, and we appreciate it. You're awesome. Yeah. Keep on keeping on, as Joe Dirt would say. And we hope that you catch us for a future episode of the Battle Bros podcast. We do have some cool stuff coming up next week. We may be in the same place.
And we'll also have some behind-the-scenes footage.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be some shenanigans. Nice. Shenanigans and fuckery. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
So until that time, folks, again, thank you again. We're redundant as hell here at the closing end, but we want to say thank you for
Yeah.
watching or listening to the show. This has been episode 029, talking about mindset here on the Battle Bros podcast. My name is Mac. My co-host is Alamo. We love the shit out of you guys. We will see you next week. And until then, you stay classy, San Francisco.
Battle Bros out.